Welcome to In the Zone with Chris Zander, where we talk lifestyle, entrepreneurship, self-care, and much more. So go grab a drink or a snack and come on back because it is now time to get in the zone. My guest today is a model coach, visionary CEO who continues to bring life to Music City with her talent, theatrical productions. Let's welcome ARose, the model herself, Miss Ashley Rose. How are you, Ashley?
I am awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm glad to have you here. It's been a long time.
Yes.
I know public speaking is not really your thing.
No, it's not.
But I'm glad that you're here. You look good.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And no, public speaking is not my thing, but you have helped me tremendously. And I thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I
Yes.
love you much. So
Thank you.
always here to help. Always.
Absolutely.
So I have to start here. We want to talk about your modeling career. You started at 11 years old.
Yes. Very young.
Very young.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you tell us about that experience?
Yes. So I started with a family friend, a good friend of my mom's. They went to school together. And my mom and I, we were out at I can't remember if we were at a grocery store or maybe a clothing store. And we bumped into Miss Deborah Robinson. And she asked if I was interested in modeling. Well, I was a tomboy. I played basketball, volleyball, track. I didn't have any interest in modeling. I was like, I don't want to do that. What? So I decided to go ahead and do it. And I went to my very, very first practice or rehearsal with my basketball tennis shoes on, and I was chewing some gum. And I remember she told me, she said, baby, I don't think you're going to make it. She was like, I don't think you're going to make it. I was like, I mean, I'm just here because my mom brought me anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what's going on. I'm just in here.
I have no clue. And so each rehearsal, I got better and better. And the very first show that I did, I just tapped into my alter ego. I was a different person.
Yes.
And it was like, who was that person? Who was that? And so since then, I've been able to use the runway as my platform for my happy place. It allows me to zone out from everything and everybody and just freely be me.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to backtrack just a bit. You are also a Memphis native,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Correct.
So growing up was like you said, you were a tomboy. Mm-hmm. So you weren't thinking about modeling or anything beauty-wise, most likely. So what was it like growing up playing like sports and just before the whole beauty arena, you know?
Yes. So for me, the majority of my neighborhood was compiled of boys. And so I would go outside and play basketball with the boys and ride bicycles and just run around and just, do tomboy things, you know?
Yeah.
And so the girly stuff, I didn't really have any interest in that. I wouldn't necessarily say didn't have interest. I just didn't know or understand that side because I just did sports. I wasn't like a full tomboy, like where I, dressed like a boy or anything that.
Yeah.
It just was like, I don't know any girly stuff. I'm wearing tennis shoes and whatever is comfortable, that's all that I knew. And so just to tap into that, I was like, wait a minute, I'm discovering something about me that I did not realize was there. And I mean, of course, I discovered it at a really, really young age, but I just did not even realize it was there.
Yeah.
And so I think that helped me to tap into my girly girl side, and to become a young lady.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy you're saying this, but I never could picture you as a quote unquote tomboy, like, because you're just so like into your femininity, like you're just great at what you do. Which we'll get there, but you're great at what you do, and I love that about you. I do. You have been like very transparent. Those of us that actually know you and people that you work with, like all of your models, which we're gonna talk about that too. I don't want to say model school. I feel like I'll say this. I feel like I'm going to call it a model school.
Okay.
I'm going to put that in the atmosphere simply because I know that you have what it takes.
Thank you.
So I'm going to go ahead and call it a modeling school here today on In the Zone. Okay?
Thank you.
You have been very transparent about working as a model at 11, growing up throughout, your adolescent years. You talk about weight and the fluctuation of weight while modeling. Can you talk about that experience? How was that for you? Because oftentimes when you're a model, people assume and they categorize you, they want you to be a certain size. Like,
That's correct.
what was that experience like for you?
So for me, starting out at a very young age, I was, of course, more in shape because I play sports. And so when I was younger, I had a slimmer physique. And so at that time, I did not face any challenges with modeling or anybody criticizing me or judging me or body shaming me at that time. It wasn't until I got a little bit older, when I went to college, 19, 20, 21, when I started to gain weight. I wasn't as active anymore. And at that time, I would face a lot of challenges with like friends and even family as well. They would make, sly remarks or like jokes, regarding weight. Oh, you've gotten so big and nasty looking. Oh, you look pregnant. You this, you that.
Nasty looking.
Yes. And I was much, much smaller than what I am now. I just happened to be bigger than I was when I was younger. Yeah. And so because I had gained weight and they're used to me being in tip-top shape, flat stomach, toned thighs, everything was just in shape. So people, I guess they expected for me to be that way always and forever, And so when I did start to gain weight, because I wasn't as active, I heard all the negative comments. And that really, really bothered my self-esteem and confidence in a big way. A really, really big way.
How so? Like, what did that look like for you?
For me, it was very depressing. I felt like I was huge, like big as a house. Again, I was smaller than I am now, and I just felt really big. I felt uncomfortable. I did not want to go certain places. When I would go out shopping, let's say if I was going to Walmart, and if I pull in the parking lot and I saw a friend that I hadn't seen in years, if I saw them get out the car and walk in before me, I would literally sit in my car and wait until they came out before I went in because I didn't want them to see me. I was afraid they were going to go back and report, oh, I saw Ashley and she's gotten big, she's gained weight or this and that, because that's happened to me a number of times.
Wait, hold on. So you mean to tell me you've run into people and they would go back and report?
Oh, yes. And that's happened a lot. It still happens.
You mean to this day?
To this day. Friends and family. I saw Ashley and, oh, she done gained so much weight. Or I saw Ashley look like she's slimming down a little bit. Yeah. It still happens to this day. And I'm almost 40. And they're still worried about my weight.
How does that affect you? Because even you just mentioned you're almost 40. How does that affect you now? Because it sounds like you've been dealing with this most of your life, at least most of your adult life.
Yes.
So how do you deal with that now?
So now I don't deal with it. I let them deal with it. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't impact me. That's the reason I created the plus size platform, because all of that pain and everything that I built up with dealing with that, I turned that pain into power. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to execute at this size, and you're going to have to accept me as I am. And if you don't, that's your problem, not mine.
Yeah. Back in 2016, you decided to rebrand yourself completely. Get on social media. You weren't on social media before 2016, right? So
I was on social media. It was right when I was about 23, 24 years old. And on my 25th birthday, I deactivated my social media. And so I wasn't on there. I can't do the math to calculate the exact year. But at that time, I stayed off of social media, and I did not get back on social media until 2016. That's when I started selling jewelry for paparazzi. And it's like I was forced to be back on social media, because it was like, how are you going to sell this jewelry? You got to push it out to people. They have to know about it. They have to be aware of the product that you're, selling. Yeah. So you can do word of mouth, or in-person sales, but social media is a big platform, and you're going to need that in order to sell the jewelry. And so that's why I started back on social media.
Got you. So from that moment, when you started back, looking back to 2016 and where you are now, would you have ever imagined or guessed you would be where you are now?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because at that time, I had taken a pause from modeling for a very long time. It was a long pause.
Okay.
I mean, if I did do any type of modeling, it may be something here and there, like maybe twice within a 10-year period. So it wasn't anything consistent. And so back 2016, when I got back on social media, I saw an advertisement for a plus size model call. And I was like, man, I hadn't done this in a long time. should I give it a try? I don't even know if they'll select me. I don't even know what I'm doing. It's been so long since I've been on the runway. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. The worst they can tell me is no. So let me go give it a try. So I went to audition and nobody knew what they were doing. Not even the people that were auditioning us. Like, it was like, Ashley, can you help? I was like, I can help, but it's been a long time since I've done this. And it's like, it's amazing to me how other people can see something in you that you don't see in yourself. Because I did not go to the audition with the expectation of having to lead and guide others. And I was happy to do it. I was like, sure, I'll help out, as much as I can. And then from there, the more and more shows I did, the more invitations I got to audition or to be a part of an event. Every time people were like, why don't you help us with this? Why don't you help with that? Can you assist with this? I'm like, sure. And then from there, it's just, if I'm going to continuously do this, I might as well get paid for it.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started to roll out my model coaching classes and, just kind of took off from there.
So it sounds like everything that you have done and put your foot in, you just stepped into it. It's like you knew like what you're capable of bringing, but it was just like going back to 11, like when you went to the model call and you aced it, you killed it. It was like you did it, but you didn't think about it.
Yep.
Like, how does that even feel for you? Like, are you even aware of that for yourself? You know what I mean?
Honestly, sometimes I really don't even think about it. And you know how we are our own toughest critic.
You ain't lying.
We are our toughest critic.
You ain't lying right there.
And so, I'll meet people and they'll say, I look up to you. You're so phenomenal. I love your walk. You're amazing. And I'm like, wow, really? And to me, it comes naturally. And it's like people that are really like pushing hard to like get to where I am or to be strong or confident on the runway. And it's like, I don't take it for granted, but it's just like, I don't really even think about it. I don't realize that people are really watching. And it's like, they're watching somebody who's plus size. I have women that'll come to me that are half my size.
Yes.
That are like, hey, can you teach me or show me? And it's like, never underestimate somebody because of their size or their age or any of that.
You are stating a word right there because you and I both know that people ask you all the time, hey, when are you going to do a show? Which we're going to talk about. Sorry for the wait, your baby. We're going to talk about that. But people always ask you, thin people, they're like, hey, when are you going to do a show for people who are thin to be included, right? So that says a lot about who you are. Not that you need that,
right?
But it illustrates that who you are, you're a businesswoman and you have everything that it takes.
Yes.
And it also shows that, people like to sleep on people because of their size.
Yeah, that's true.
You got people who, like you said, are half your size who are reaching out to you for guidance. So it lets you know how bad you are. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about that? Like, what does that make you feel when you have people like who reach out to you based off of that? Does
Honestly,
I won't say boost your ego, but does it confirm something for you, or you still are not aware of just the impact that you have?
It does. So it definitely helps me to build my self-esteem and confidence. And it really is that push to keep going. It's that push to keep going because I'm like, somebody's watching, somebody's benefiting from this. This is helping somebody in more ways than one. Not only is it helping them to be able to be confident, but it's helping to build their self-esteem as well, as an individual. And so to me, it's just that push and that boost to just keep going, and just never stop.
Yeah. Yeah. You are a model coach, and CEO of Sorry for the Wait, which is a theatrical production produced by you that focuses on building self-esteem and confidence for both plus-size men and women of any demographic and background who either have experience in modeling or completely new to it. So I'm curious to know what inspired you to execute this endeavor, and what is the mission behind Sorry for the Wait?
So our mission is celebrating body positivity and bringing awareness to mental health. That's our mission and that's our goal. And what inspired me is because of my own experiences with being a plus size woman and the different challenges I've had to face with people discounting me because of what I look like, or, friends and family body shaming me, because I've gained weight over the years. And so, like I said, instead of allowing it to depress me and put me in those dark places, I was like, you know what? I'm going to use this as a stepping stone, to build myself up. and to just rise. And again, they got to accept me as I am. And I look at it like myself and a lot of other models that I work with, you know, there are people paying good money to get a good body, you know, to get a nice shape. People are paying good money for that. So why not embrace who we are and who God has blessed us to be? Yeah.
And that makes sense because, like you said, people getting that botch shit on their bodies, chest looking sick, gross, butt looks sick, all of it looks sick. You
looking
look
a mess.
sick. It's not cute.
Looking a mess,
but, you know what I'm saying? People paying for that.
Yes.
But, you know, it's funny to me how, and going back a bit, with your, I want to call it, like I said before, I'm going to put this out here. Right now, you're not an agent, right? You're not considered an agent.
Correct.
But people all the time, they ask you about, hey, are you an agency?
Yeah.
Or you get people always reaching out. Can you talk about that?
Yes. So oftentimes I'll have people to reach out to me and say, hey, I've got this project coming up. I would love to work with some of your models from your agency. And I remember the first time it happened to me and the lady was talking and I was like, well, wait, I said, no, I'm just going to listen. Because I was getting ready to tell her, like, you know, I didn't want to confuse her or, you know, there'd be any miscommunication. Because I was going to say, well, hey, ma'am, I don't actually have an agency. Now, I can get you some models, but I don't officially have an agency. But, you know, God just told me to be quiet and just listen. And so I listened to her and she was like, you know, I would love to work with some of your models from your agency. I got this project coming up. It's going to be out of town and I need about 6 models. And I was like, well, I can get that for you. I can put that together for you for sure. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let her speak it into existence. You know, that was a word for me. You know, I'm glad I didn't cut her off because that is something that I'm working towards. That is something that I would love to have. Like you said, an agency or, you know, a modeling school or something in combination with that. I would love to have that. And I'm going to have that one day.
Absolutely.
And so when people assume that that's what I have, I just let them think that. I do. I just let them say it because one day we'll be there. And I'm like, you know, they're already speaking it into existence. That could be just a word from God. Like, hey, let me throw this in your ear. This is what the plan is.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, as I'm sitting here, I have to ask you, are you aware of just who you are?
You know, sometimes I struggle with that. The short answer to that, honestly, I'm going to say no sometimes. I'm going to say no. At times I do, at times I don't. And the reason I say that is because, again, like I said, people can see something in you that you don't see in yourself. And I'm confident, but I'm also a humble person. And so I try not to conduct myself as if though I think that I'm better than anybody else. You know, you can have confidence, but also be humble. I don't think that I'm better than anybody else. There's always opportunity for growth and improvement, you know, but people oftentimes remind me, oh my God, I love you, doing amazing. You're so professional. I like this, I like that. And I'm like, oh wow, really? And again, I'm my toughest critic. So I'm thinking, well, to me, it was just okay. But to them, they're like, it's everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. So that helps to remind me of who I am at times when sometimes I'm not sure.
Yeah. You talk about humility because that's a big thing. And a lot of people are lacking that.
Yes.
But do you ever feel, I know me personally, because I'm humble too, but sometimes I look back and realize that my humility has stopped me as well. Have you ever had that experience where being so humble has stopped you from really seeing your fullest potential? Because, you know, people often tell you, be humble, be humble, be humble, right? And you're already that. But there's a fine line because when there's a fine line there, people oftentimes manipulate that because you are humble.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Oh,
yes.
Ashley, she's talented. She's humble. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And people don't see you for your talent. They see you as talented, but you're super humble. Have you ever seen that in you? And how has that experience, I guess, affected you?
Yes. So absolutely. There have been spaces that I've been in where I have, I guess for lack of a better way to put it, I have dimmed my own light in certain spaces because of the setting or the environment not being very inviting. So I'm like, you know, I'm just going to kind of take a step back and I'm just going to relax and I'm just going to chill because I feel like if I am truly myself, then I won't be accepted. or I would be judged or criticized for who I am. And so I have literally dimmed my own light in spaces just to, I guess I would say, to make other people comfortable. Yeah. Yeah.
But going back, were you comfortable?
Absolutely not. Because I couldn't be me. I could not be free and I could not be me. Yep. I was not comfortable. Yep.
You know, it's funny you're saying that because we're having this conversation and it's like, I deal with that same thing, you know, and I'll go back and I'll look back at myself. I'm like, why didn't I just be myself?
Yes.
Number one, who are these people? I don't have anything to prove to them.
That's right.
Who are they? What do you think that is? Like, what is that stem? What do you think that is?
I think it's, for me, sometimes I think I realize that it is fear of being judged or criticized or frowned upon. And we have to understand that everybody's not going to like us. We're not for everybody. And the people that we are for are going to accept us just as we are. As they say, you know, those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter.
Yeah.
You know, and so I have to remind myself of that as well. You know, just realizing that you are who you are. You are exactly who God has you to be. It doesn't matter what these people think or say or how they feel or how they receive you. This is you. Come as you are.
Yeah, I love that. So going back as well, when we talk about you moved to Nashville in 2003. You went to Tennessee State University, okay, TSU.
Yes.
So from 2003 to 2023, it's 20 years,
Yes.
right? What is the biggest, I guess, lesson you have learned about yourself? And now, you know, being a model, but not just a model, you have ownership of your businesses, right? So like, what is the biggest lesson you've learned about yourself over the 20 years?
The biggest thing for me is, part of it is always show up as yourself, something we just talked about. Another thing, Nashville, the last 20 years really, really has taught me how to love. I did not have that before I moved to Nashville. I made a post not too long ago saying that Memphis raised me and taught me how to survive. Memphis birthed me, and taught me how to survive. Nashville raised me and taught me how to love. That's been so major for me. And I say that because I have really, really been blessed to be surrounded by some amazing people. I mean, God has really shined some amazing people on me. Like, they've been able to share their light. I've been able to share my light, and it's genuine. It's like I never knew any of that before I came to Nashville. I just love it here. I love it so much. And I just, the friendships that I've built, you know, some of them are so strong that I can't even call them a friend. It's like, you're really my sister.
Yeah.
You know, you're my brother, or you know what I mean? It's like, we're no longer friends. You know, blood can make us thicker. Yeah.
And I have to say this. I hope one day you talk about your full story. Because this young lady has been through a lot. A lot of people don't even know. And we talk.
Yes.
And some of the stuff I don't even know. But I'm saying that to say, like, I'm trying not to cry.
Me too.
I really am, because it's like, everyone sees like how great you are, but they don't know the story that it took for you to get to where you are.
Yes.
So when you say that Memphis taught you how to survive, I get what you mean. Even though I'm not from Memphis, you were going through some hardships at that time. And you just had to get through it. You had to be tough. You had to be tough. But Nashville taught you that now you can be tough, but all that, we want your heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people really want a connection with you. People really want to love you and want to see your heart. And I have to say, before we continue this interview, I love you a lot. I got mad respect for you.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that you are here, because I feel like there's no amount of time or anything that could be said in this interview to illustrate the amount of respect and love that I have for you.
Thank you.
And I know a lot of mutual people who feel that same way. So today, I just want to give you the space to be able to show up as you.
Thank you.
And give you your flowers, because that's what I do here on In the Zone. I like to give people their flowers. You have contributed so much to Music City. And you know you have.
Thank you.
And you're continuing to do that and grow. So I want to let you know, don't let nothing stop you. I also have to go here. I have to talk about this because when you're a strong person, people tend to come in your life. They, again, going back to what you stated earlier, people see something in you that they don't have, number one, but they're intimidated by, number two. And instead of embracing the strength there, they try to take it, manipulate it, turn it back on you, and make you feel like you are the problem.
Very true.
With being the strong woman that you are and carrying the many titles that you have and the talent that you have and that you are, how do you feed out and deal with people who have ulterior motives? Like, how do you identify those people? Because that's also something that I want to say to you too. Continue to do that because you're very good at that. But continue to do that. Yes. And I look up to that. But I'm just curious, how do you do that?
You know, I have this strong discernment, very, very strong discernment. And, you know, people can put on and pretend. And I usually catch it early on. But even if I don't see it right away, I see it at the perfect time, you know, before it's too late. When you have a light that shines so bright, kind of like what you said, you know, you're going to attract all kinds of people, all good and bad. And you have to be so careful. You have to be really, really careful. And like you said, I've come across all kinds. I'm very careful. Like, I am a people person, but I'm also very guarded and I'm very selective social, especially when it comes to my personal space. Because some people want to get in and they want to get really, really close. So they can take your imperfections and your weaknesses and use those against you. And also, when it comes to business, I have people that try to sneak their way in so they can get behind the scenes and see how I operate my business because they know they're not going to find out just from being on the outside looking in. But I've had people to try to do that. And again, that discernment is so strong. And so once I can identify that, then I go ahead and move those people out of my space.
So you mean to tell me these broke ass people ain't buying no ticket? No, I'm just going to go there. These broke ass people ain't buying no ticket. You know what I'm saying? But they're like, well, who? I actually, do you need my help?
They love to volunteer. They love to do that. And you would think it may sound crazy, but any business owner or professional would know and understand what I'm saying when I say this. Of course, when you operate an event, you want to have all hands on deck. Whatever help you can get, especially if somebody's volunteering, you want to get any help. I am so particular. I have people that'll inbox me on social media. They'll text me asking, can I assist you? Can I help with anything? And I'm like, no, we're good. Now, I could be all the way short staffed. I could be running my production team crazy. Yeah. But I do not like to receive help just from anybody. One thing, they want to get on the inside to see how we operate. The other thing is people just want to get in free. They don't truly intend to help. They may do a little something, but they want to get in for free, especially, you know, when it comes to doing events and stuff. Yeah. They want to get in for free.
You know what's funny? Because you just recently had your third annual, I was about to say second annual. Your third annual Sorry for the Wait fashion show.
Yes.
Which every year it gets bigger and better, right?
Yes.
With the Facebook Live that you guys recently did, you and Glenn, you talked about how people literally every year will try to like get in, try to figure out how they can help you, how they can do this, that, and the third. Or people will complain and talk mess, like standing in the line and all this different stuff. But if they're at a Beyonce concert, right? Or if they're at Drake, wherever, they're going to be on their best behavior. They're going to spend thousands of dollars of money.
To stand outside for 2 hours before they get in. Yeah.
But with you, it's like people are not taking you seriously. How do you feel about that? Because for me, that bothers me for you, if that makes sense.
Yes.
It's like people know that you are the shit, but it's still like they trying to play.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was a little bit frustrating when I got the feedback regarding the people that were standing outside waiting to get in. So the weather was beautiful. It was not raining. It was not scorching hot. It was not freezing cold. The weather was beautiful at the time, they were lined up to come into the venue. And people were upset and complaining because they had to stand in line. That bothers me because, like you said, they'll go see Lizzo or Taylor Swift or Beyonce, and they'll intentionally go early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Intentionally go early, get a parking space or get dropped off by Uber, whatever, and stand outside for hours intentionally to make sure they get there on time. And without a complaint. They're outside taking pictures and, ooh, look where I am and this, that, and the third. But when you come to an ARose production, because I'm local right now, it's an issue that you got to stand in line. And they weren't in line that long. And instead of looking at that like this is, Black-owned, young entrepreneur, Black-owned business entrepreneur that's doing, great and she's successful and her show keeps growing year after year after year. Instead of being excited and happy for me, there were complaints because they had to stand outside. How many folks standing outside at the Bridgestone Arena when there's a concert? You know what I mean?
Seriously, yeah.
And outside for significantly longer. But they're mad and have an attitude because they have to stand outside. We got to stand outside too long. I mean, we got to let the people in one by one, I
want to say this to you. As you grow, you know this. Listen, I'm 25, you're 38. So you got a couple years on me, you know this. But I'm going to say it anyway. The higher you go up, the more and more people got something negative to say.
Yep.
Because they're going to try to find something to bring you down.
New levels,
because my
new
question
devils.
is, how the hell can you get in unless you're outside waiting?
Exactly. Like we got to check the tickets. You know what I mean? We got to confirm you are who you are. You're the ticket purchaser. So we have to make sure that is on point, We don't want people to just come in, just slide in.
As you take that criticism, I guess is what you want to call it, whatever, or hate, that, I guess, negative energy, really.
Yeah.
Just take it and say, you know what? This is a part of it. You know what I mean? And don't let it affect you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You work with a lot of plus size models. And with that being said, I've noticed how you've been able to help build their esteem. Like a lot of people who feel as if they don't have what it takes at all. Like, why is that so important for you to focus? I mean, you work with smaller models, but you really target and focus on plus size models. Like, why is that such a big thing for you?
It's big for me because with me working directly with them, they can identify with somebody who looks like them, rather than somebody that's half my size, coaching and training them and, giving them direction. That's fine, of course. But even still, sometimes people are still unsure of themselves because they're like, yeah, this person is coaching me and directing me, but they don't have the same issues, as I do because of my size. And so that's why I wanted to focus specifically on a plus size because I can identify with that. You know what I mean? They can look at me and say, I'm learning from somebody who has curves, like I do. Somebody who has cellulite like I do. You know what I mean? You have imperfections like I do. So, they're excited to learn from somebody that they can identify with. And so I think that's what makes things easier. That's what helps me. It's a blessing, and it helps people in so many ways, like even building their mental spaces. Like so many women and men too, they'll come to me like either during the production of the show or after the show, and they'll tell me how I helped them, with their mental health. Like, people were, in jeopardy of, committing suicide or, things of like they were going through depression or they've lost everything and didn't have a place to stay, just all kinds of things. And how Sorry for the Wait has saved their life. And I'm like, as much as those people communicate that to me and how I've helped them, they're helping me too.
Yeah.
Just the same. They're helping me too. Because there are so many times I wanted to give up. But I'm like, these people are counting on me.
Damn. Sorry. I'm sorry.
They're depending on me, They look up to me, as a leader and as a mentor. And I got to push through. I got to get it done. And like I said, just as much as I help them, they're helping me just the same. And they don't even know it. Yep.
Looking back, because you started Sorry for the Wait in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
This is now 2023. Would you have guessed from when you first started to now that the amount of people you've been able to impact and touch their lives, would you have even fathomed or guessed that?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Literally, when I had the idea to do Sorry for the Wait, I said to myself, if I sell 100 tickets, I'd be satisfied. And in my mind, I was thinking I want to do, a little small showcase for plus women. We have a lot of shows that they may have a plus size scene or plus size segment, but there was nothing that was fully for us. And so I was like, let me give it a try. I know a few people in Nashville, like, my friends and, my family and stuff, they'll come support. So let me give it a try. My goal is 100 tickets. And honestly, I thought that was like, that was pushing it to try to sell 100 tickets. And so I rolled out the details, posted the ticket sales. They were selling and selling and selling and selling. And we had exceeded 100 tickets. And I was like, well, I may need to go back to the venue to map out the seating because we may end up selling a little bit more. So I'm going to push it to 125. I'm going to do that. And I closed it down to 125 and people kept asking, I want a ticket. I want to come. I was like, okay, well, we'll do 150, let's, try to reconfigure the seating chart or whatnot. And needless to say, we sold over 200 tickets the very first year. And I was like, wow, people came, they supported. And then the second year, I was like, oh my God, I'm nervous. Are they going to come back again? Did they enjoy the show? Would they come back and and support us? Oh my God, we sold even more tickets the second year. Even more. We sold about 240 last year in 2022. And then this year.
And this year.
Oh my God.
You sold out VIP.
In 48 hours.
48 hours.
VIP sold out in 48 hours. I was like, wow. I was like, wait a minute, is this a glitch in the system? I'm checking Eventbrite, like, wait a minute, I'm like, let me log on, what's going on? I was like, I cannot believe this. It just really wowed me. I was in tears. I was like, oh my God. If VIP sold out in 48 hours like this, general admission, I'm not even worried about it. I know they're gonna buy general admission tickets because that's all that's left now. That's all, they don't have a choice now. And we sold 275 tickets. We sold 275 tickets this year.
Each year.
It's growing.
It's growing.
Yep. And it's growing in more ways than one. Like, not only are we growing as far as our ticket sales and our support, it's growing as far as the production team, as far as the confidence, and the energy of the models, my backstage crew, everybody, like overall, it's just everybody is growing. And that's what I love. That's what it's about. It's like we're not stagnant. We're not at a standstill. Every year I see the growth in my team and I can't be nothing but proud of them.
I had to ask this because you get a lot of flack about where you have the show, the location. Belshire, because it's a space where for you, you've outgrown it.
Yes, we have.
But also people don't understand the production aspect behind the scenes of what it takes, right? So what are your responses to that? Because every year people like, you've outgrown our bell shop, like it's always something about that.
Yeah. So my production team has been on me, the models, even the supporters. They're like, why do you keep coming here? You gotta go. Literally the first year we had outgrown the venue before we even got there.
Yeah.
We outgrew it. And so this year they're like, you're not coming back here again. You're just not coming back. And I was like, but y'all, it costs so much to go to a bigger venue. I want to go to a bigger space. I'm nervous because I'm like, are we going to continuously have these supporters that are going to come out? Because I need to sell even more tickets.
They will.
I need to sell even more tickets. My goal for a bigger venue is 350 plus tickets. I was like, I want more people to come out, and I think they will, but that makes me a little bit nervous. But a larger venue that can accommodate us, it costs.
It does.
And so with that, I want to work on like sponsorship. And we've started on that. We had some sponsorship this year. That's a blessing. I want to do more sponsorship in the years to come so that we can go bigger. And even bigger than just being in Nashville. I want to take it on the road. Because other people need to see it, Other people need to see it. They need to be impacted by it because I think we have something great. It's more than just a show. It's a production. It's a movement. And it's something that, can focus on plus size community all around the world.
And it impacts you for life.
It does, yeah. Yeah.
It's not just a, one-time thing.
Yes.
It's something that, and I can say this, being a part of the show, behind scenes and modeling in the show, I can say that it's something that you take with you every year and every day, every moment with you. It's not like, oh yeah, I went to this, fashion show last year. It's one of those things you look forward to every year because you're taking not just the experience, you're taking a sense of self with you.
Yes. I love that.
You get what I'm saying? A sense of, I'm a better person. Confidence.
Yes.
Yeah. So I love that. Obviously, you are growing continuously with Sorry for the Wait. You say you want to take it on the road.
Yes.
What do you see yourself in the next 5 years with Sorry for the Wait?
The next 5 years with Sorry for the Wait, I see myself and my team doing a tour across the world, not limited to the United States, like literally across the world. Like I really want to take this show on the road and just, expand. That's what I want to do. I want to to start out, I want to hit maybe 2 cities. I want to be something within reason. But 5 years from now, I want to be able to hit a different city every month and close out in Nashville. Like Nashville will be our big, bang, our big banker. But yeah, I see us doing, a different city every month.
And with Sorry for the Wait, I want you to clear this up because I personally have heard people say sorry for the wait. Well, shouldn't you not be sorry? Like, can you talk about the name, like the history and the origin behind the name? Because a lot of people are like, sorry for the wait, like what is that? Can you talk about that? Can you clear the bullshit up essentially? Because a lot of people look at it as like, sorry for the wait. Shouldn't you not be sorry? That's the whole goal, all that stuff.
Yep, I've heard people say that as well. So this is my take on it. So I came up with the name because, of course, I wanted it to be something catchy. I'm a creator, I'm a visionary, so I like something that stands out, that's going to draw people's attention.
Yes.
And so with the word weight, WEIGHT, being included in it, because of course we're plus size, so we got some weight on us, right? So I want to include that in there. But it's not really saying that we're sorry for our weight and what we look like. It's more so, I'm sorry that you had to wait on us to love ourselves and to accept ourselves for who we are.
You better stop that. You better listen. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I probably need to, I'm going to announce that at the next show or something that we do, so people don't think that I'm apologizing for what I look like, because I'm unapologetic. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, we loving ourselves, but it's more so of a, we apologizing that you had to wait on us to accept who we are. Yeah.
Listen, y'all heard it here on In the Zone first, okay? Listen, I love that.
Thank you.
Like, that's taking ownership. That's also saying, sorry, not sorry.
Exactly. Sorry, not sorry. Yes.
You also Like, that's the thing about you. You're always moving and you always have different things in the works. Because one thing about you being a visionary, a lot of people don't know, this lady already has in mind what she wants for her next show for next year for Sorry for the Wait. She
I already
knows
have
the
it
theme.
together. Yep. I
She
already have
already
it
has it
together.
together. That is how talented you are. And a lot of people don't understand that. You also, this year, for the 4th of July, you launched the very first, that's an annual thing as well, right?
Yes.
Thighworks. Talk about Thighworks.
Yes. So I launched Thighworks because oftentimes my models, they work with me for Sorry for the Wait. We do our auditions in July. And so we rehearse from August to September. Show is in October. But that's really it for us, right? And so a lot of the models are like, what do you got next? I want to model for you again. I want to do this again. And I don't do a whole lot of other shows that I really produce or model coach. I don't do a whole lot of them. And some of them don't really call for plus size models. And so I was like, you know what? Let me create something for us that way we can be seen and present all year round. And so just at random, like no lie, this was in May of this year. I was like, you know what? I want to launch a summer theme for us. I want to do something, showcase us in the summer. And it's also good to promote the auditions for Sorry for the Wait coming up in the fall. I said, let me do something really quick for us. Again, let me do a small show.
Nothing this lady does is small, by the way.
This was it was after my birthday's May 14th. So it was after my birthday that I had this idea. So it was the latter part of May.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I have this idea. I told my team, I said, I want to do a show called Thighworks, like fireworks, but Thighworks. That was like, I mean, okay, we trust you. We know if you
They didn't
you
really
put it
believe
together
all the way, right?
Yeah, they's like, we trust you. We know, if you put it together, it's going to be great. And I was like, what y'all think about the name? They was like, it's okay. I was like, I love it and I'm going with it. And so I was like, I could do it around the 4th of July theme. I literally put that show together in a month. Because I started working on it. I talked about it, had the idea late May, started working on it early June. The show took place July 2nd. And the space only held 100 seats. That's it. I couldn't even go past that if I wanted to. And we sold out.
Yes.
Sold out in a month. I was like, wow. And that was just like, hey, I want to showcase my models, in the summertime. They're always like, when is the next show? We want to work with you. When is the next show? Because they often, there are other shows that take place, but they always feel like it's an experience when you come to ARose Productions. It's more than just a show. It's a full-on experience.
Absolutely.
It's a production, like the whole shebang from start to finish.
Absolutely.
And for that show, I didn't even do an audition. I was like, you know what? This is a smaller scale show. I'm using half the models that I use in my Sorry for the Wait show. And I literally handpicked all the models. I handpicked 15 models. I said, I got a show coming up. I would love for you to be a part. Would you accept this invite? They were like, yes. I want to do it. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's going to be called Thighworks. They was like, oh my God. Everybody was so excited.
And you know what's so cool about that? Because Thighworks, like these names, the names that you have, like, it's just so powerful. You get what I'm saying? Like, I can't even put the words to it because it's like, it's very creative.
Thank you.
But it goes beyond just creativity. It's like, it's a stamp in the ground kind of thing. You know what I mean? It gets to people's attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people love it. Like, I mean, they come out and support us. They're like, oh my God, when is the next show?
Yeah.
And the thing about it is when people come to one show, they're like, oh, I'm not missing another one.
Absolutely.
When the tickets go on sale. I even got to the point where I will announce ahead of time when the tickets are going to be on sale because people want to know. I don't want to just drop it and be like, oh, tickets on sale today. I always let them know like weeks, maybe even a month in advance. Like, hey, tickets are going to drop on this day. Go ahead and prepare. They're dropping on this day. And they're ready.
And you know what? I got to say this too, because going back to this, right? You have plus people, skinny people, young people, old people, straight people, gay people, white people, black people, all people.
Yes.
All people.
Yep.
Who want to come and support your show. And they come and support every year.
Yes. And we love it. I love the diversity of it. We don't discriminate. We're not turning nobody down. I love the inclusivity. I love that. Yes. And I mean, everybody supports. Yeah. I'm like, it's amazing. I want to expand even more with the models too, as far as the diversity with the models. But yeah, it's amazing. It's a true blessing, and it's like God just keeps showing me like, you gotta go bigger, and you gotta take this on the road. More people have to see this, and he keeps telling me what he has for me is bigger than Nashville.
Yes.
Yep, it's bigger than Nashville. Yep.
So, in conclusion, as we are aware, because it's so much that I want to cover today, but we don't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
You have to come back.
I will. I would love to.
You have to come back. And I want to say this. Definitely your talent is going to supersede Nashville. It already has. Mm-hmm. But Nashville needs you because oftentimes people overlook certain demographics of people here in Nashville.
Yes.
Which is why I wanted to create this platform in The Zone, because I feel like there's so many people that I know and don't know who deserve the opportunity to have a platform just to show what they do and what they bring to Music City.
Yes.
Because we're more than just Broadway,
yes,
country music, alcohol. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that,
right?
But I'm saying there is more to Nashville than what people illustrate it as,
yes.
Right? So in conclusion, looking back over your life collectively, and when I say collectively, that young girl from Memphis, the hardships you went through, to where you are moving to Nashville in 2003, to now 2023, what is the biggest lesson you have learned about yourself? And what advice could you give to yourself?
For me, one of the biggest things is to be careful who I allow in my space, because that can impact my elevation. It can impact my mindset and my growth. And so I have to be really, really careful with that, because you can be around people that can not see your vision and they'll talk you out of your vision. And I have a wide range of things, that I think about, I brainstorm that I want to do. And sometimes I can tell those things to people and they'll try to talk me out of it. And so for me, with my model career and, being a producer of shows and events, that's really, really important to me. I have to be very, very careful with that. And I usually don't share. I move in silence anyway.
Yes.
But anytime I am in a space of people, I have to be very, very cautious. Everybody don't have your best interests at heart. People will project their negativity, their insecurities upon you, their lack of confidence on you. So that's something that's big for me, being careful who I allow into my space. And also another thing too that I'm learning more and more lately as it relates to like mental health, it's okay to not be okay. And when you have those people that you're comfortable with, open up and confide. That can help. I'm learning that more and more as I get older. That's hard because I'm a people person, but I'm also a loner,
Me too.
I just keep everything bottled in.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't do that because I'm drowning, I got to get out of that. And like, there are people that want to, see you succeed and want to see you happy, and you got to allow them to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. People need to go and follow Miss Ashley Rose, ARose the model, okay? Where can people follow you?
They can follow me on Facebook at Ashley Rose, also ARose the model, and on Instagram at I am ARose the model. And also we have a Sorry for the Wait page on Instagram as well. It is Sorry for the Wait, WEIGHT _ EST 2021. So that's Sorry for the Wait, established 2021.
Also, we cannot forget your clothing line, your t-shirt line.
Yes.
Because you have like positive affirmations on your t-shirts and on your clothing.
Yes.
Please talk about that as well.
Yes. So I have a t-shirt line. It's called Positively Motivated by ARose. And so I launched a t-shirt line back in 2019. I may be getting my years wrong. 2019.
Listen, you're a busy woman.
I'm like, it's a lot going on. Yes. I launched my t-shirt line then to help build self-esteem and confidence. And it has affirmations such as I'm enough, I am valuable, I am determined, things of that nature. There's a lot more as well. Also, I added to my t-shirt line over the years.
You know what I'm thinking about? Biscuit, beans,
The
and
leg
leg quarters.
I added. So oftentimes people, they'll say, where'd you get your body done? Or did you get a BBL? I'm like, what? I didn't have a BBL. But you know what? I took that and I ran with it. I was like, you know what? Let me use this.
Yeah.
And I said, my shirt says, yeah, I had a BBL. BBL, biscuits, beans, and leg quarters. And then I also added PHAT, fat, because a lot of times people like to call us fat. And so I took that too. And also, it's plenty of hips and thighs. Yep.
I love all of it.
Yep.
I do. I love all of
Yep.
it. Ashley, I want to say thank you so much for coming here on In the Zone. Is there anything else you would like to say before we close?
Yes, I would like to say that I am very, very grateful for you. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm super proud of what you're doing. Keep doing it. You're so young. You have so much life ahead of you. Just keep going and don't give up. No matter what anybody else says, what they think, how they feel, go by what Stephen feels and keep going.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
very few people know me as Steven. Like, if you know me as Steven, it's real. You get what I'm saying? I mean, people know me as Chris too,
Mhm.
But if you know me as Steven, it's like people who know me as such can say, get over here and shut up and sit down.
Uh-huh.
And I would do it. Some people, not all people.
No, right.
But I'm saying that because it's like, I love you.
Mhm.
You're like my
I
sister.
love you too.
And I appreciate you.
Mhm.
And anything that you do, I'm in full support of. Anything that you say to me, I receive. And I appreciate you. I do. I
Yes.
really do. I do.
Thank
So
you.
for those of you watching today, thanks for tuning in. And until next time.